She was probably using some good spell work, honestly, to keep her, going for as long as she did. Because when
Right.
did they finally they caught up with her? When
In
was that?
March in Arcadia,
2023, right?
2024, last
Oh
year.
wow. Oh yeah. Last year. Okay, most
Yeah.
recently, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So um I think that she was probably, using some spell work and magic to help cloak herself. Um but when you hurt a child and you go against universal law like that, you can't hide that much. You can't hide that long.
Right.
Um so um I thought I saw her because I saw her, I saw the clip of her in court saying all of those things that to most people are like, oh my gosh, she's just faking. I was like, she's not faking. I think I actually commented on one of the YouTube videos where it was like a clip of her in court saying that she was that long name and all of this stuff. And, she had to fight these demons and everything like that. I said, actually, she's not faking it. She
Mm-hmm.
really 100% believes all of this, Um,
Mm-hmm.
and, I think that when you are that deep into a psychosis, having a psychotic episode that's long standing with no medication, no one, she's on the run, mind you, after she's just done this horrible thing to her child, which is also putting her in a deeper state
Yeah.
of psychosis, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
then she has no one to pull her out. No one, she's not around family, she's not around friends, she's not around someone who can like take her to a doctor or get her some medication or anything. So she's just going like spiraling deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into this place where now she totally believes everything, right?
Right.
Totally believes that she's this princess's name. Can't remember the name either. This princess's name. She totally believes that what she did was justified. She totally believes that she had to do it um, in order to save herself, save her child, and possibly save the world,
Mm-hmm.
um, because she was positioning herself as the savior type of person. Because just from the Facebook posts I was seeing, she was seeing demons everywhere and entities everywhere, and she was working to cleanse and purify and help people heal and get these demons and entities off of them. Those were the posts I was seeing
Yeah.
before I finally decided to just like stop following her. So I do believe that she really 100% believed all of this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So let's talk about her assigned archetype. Now, this isn't a brand or brand and branding marketing archetype. But it is indeed an archetype. Okay. And this is the shadow side of a mother, being a mother, the shadow
Mm-hmm.
side.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever she was dealing with spiritually, whether it was some sort of spiritual psychosis, whether it was a mental illness that spiraled out of control because it was going untreated, or whether it was a result of a spiritual attack, I believe that it heightened the shadow side of being a mother. All right. So this is what we
Oh
call the
yeah.
shadow mother archetype. Now, she fits this archetype because this archetype is a figure who should be nurturing and protective, but instead they manipulate, control, and then ultimately sabotage and destroy. So, in her
Right.
case, her neglect was disguised as like a divine purpose, right? So, instead of helping Cairo, because according to autopsy, he passed away from dehydration that
Mm-hmm.
stemmed from um, vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they said something about him having a stomach bug. So, from the symptoms that he had, due to the stomach bug that led to dehydration and an imbalance in his electrolytes, which
Mm-hmm.
ultimately led to his unfortunate demise. Right. So the
Mm.
neglect of not taking care of him or seeking medical treatment was disguised as a divine purpose. And she justified it as his suffering being a part of her spiritual belief and something that needed to happen. Because
Hmm.
in her mind, she didn't believe that this was indeed a 5-year-old child. This was a 100-year-old demon that possessed his body.
Yeah.
Also, evasion, right? We talked about her evading the law instead of taking accountability. So, running across multiple states rather than, facing justice.
Mm-hmm.
Also, weaponizing paranoia. So,
Mm-hmm.
fabricating these government conspiracies to divert attention from the reality of her crime. So, in a nutshell, because these are the things that have happened, these are the things that she exhibited. For me, she fell perfectly into the shadow side of motherhood when it comes to the
Mm-hmm.
archetype assigned to her. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, especially the paranoia part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and her, because when we think about in past cases where a parent, mainly mothers, who become so stressed out and so overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
um, raising kids and having to work and having to do all of these things, and 9 times out of 10, they're single moms and they're doing it on their own. And we've seen when they have unalived their children and themselves, right? 9 times out of 10, it is because of the heightened stress. And that stress turns into, all of a sudden you just snap. You snap and you get into this space where you believe that the best thing right now is to free your children and free yourself from all of this madness that's taking place, all of the stress and the overwhelm. And I can totally see her looking at his illness as something that needs to happen to him,
Yeah.
especially if she felt like he was a 100-year-old demon. She felt like she was already raising a 100-year-old demon. This baby got sick. And in her mind, that was her way of allowing him to be set free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I
No,
mean, it's terrible, but
it is. It's terrible.
unfortunately, this is what happens, not just from anybody that has mental instability and deals with magic, but this happens, every day in our country. This happens
Mm-hmm.
a lot with moms and dads who wear the burden of trying to provide everything for their children and be a good parent and also take care of themselves, and sometimes they may not be in the healthiest mindset. They may not feel supported. They may be dead dog tired, and let's just talk about what not getting enough sleep can do to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not getting enough sleep can put you into a state of mental unwellness. It really can. Not eating enough or eating too much crap, too much sugar, too much processed foods, things like that. These are things that your brain needs in order to function properly. And when you don't have basics, those basic things in place, and you're tired and you're overworked and you're stressed out, because I don't have any children, but kids can out. I watch people with children be like, "Oh my god, like this is too hard. Like what in the world? What was I thinking?"
Yeah, I have three. And I
So
remember, yeah, I was just gonna say, I have three, and I remember, they're much older now, so
mhm,
I have a lot of my freedom back. But I
right, right.
remember when they were much younger, there were plenty of nights I would lock myself in my room, and I would literally tell them, "Leave me alone," and I would lock
Yeah.
myself in the room and just cry
Mhm.
because it was hard, doing everything yourself. It was really hard.